All right. I've given people time to join. Why don't I get started today? Apologies if I don't turn on my face cam. It's because my webcam isn't working. Before I begin, does anyone here have any experience with Figma or know what Figma is? If you do, you can unmute yourself and tell me, or just type it in chat. Oh, okay. It seems like two people know what Figma is. That's great. Without further ado, I will show you what we're going to do today in Figma. If I could just get a moment to share my screen. All right, I am sharing my screen right now. Oh, and today we are going to be learning the basics of Figma. And by the end, you're going to learn how to build a clone of Instagram. That's literally the purpose of today's workshop. Now, I'm not making any presentation slides because I don't really think it's necessary for Figma, but I will share you a cheat sheet later on so you guys can use that in the hackathon. Now, the reason why we're doing a Figma workshop is because before any of your ideas come to life, you have to visualize it and make sure that your idea is presentable to the audience so they know that, or they have an idea of what you're creating. Let's say, for example, your boss wants you to create an app and you have to present to them what they look like, but you haven't had the app ready. What you do is you basically whip up a Figma presentation just like this on the right, which looks a bit funky. And you just show them like the prototype or the design, what it's going to look like in the future. And on the left, that's like the final product that you're going to be building. Now, mockups are really important. If you in the audience have no coding experience or it's your first hackathon, you are allowed to use Figma to submit your projects. That is totally fine. And we actually encourage you to do so if you have no coding background, because we love to see your ideas come to life. And maybe in the future, if you decide to maybe like improve your coding skills, you can always come back to your Figma projects and then code them. So yeah, let's just get the elephants out of the room and let's actually create our mockup. So I am going to be deleting this on the right. Or actually, let me just go here. So what I'm using here is the Figma app. If you guys don't have it installed, just search up Figma on your browser and it should pop up. If you guys haven't signed in to Figma, that's fine. It takes like 30 seconds. If you guys need to sign in, I can give you a little bit of time. But yeah, once you signed in, you should be greeted with a page like this. So does everyone in the chat have Figma ready, or do you guys need time to install it? Well, it seems like a couple of you are ready, so I'll just get started. So there's a difference between design files and jam files. Jam files are just like, it's like a whiteboard where you can just doodle and draw anything you want, kind of like Zoom, where I can just annotate anything on the screen. But that's not really what we're going to do today. We're going to be making an actual design and prototype. So let's just do this and just click on the design file and it should bring you up to a page like this. Now, the basics of Figma are this. This is the toolbar on the top left. And this here is your canvas. Now, these are this here is basically the frame, and this is the selection tool, and this is the slicing tool. We'll get into that later. And what we want to do is we always want to keep this to move. If you do this by accident, you can always press the V key to move things around, because we need to move around a lot for our prototyping to work. Now, first off, let's just learn something new today on how to use hotkeys. So in Figma, if you want, like, you always start with a canvas, like a rectangle, for example. You can always find it here, and then you can just select what you want. But I don't like that. I hate it. What I always do is I use the hotkeys, so I don't have to lift my finger off the keyboard, and this allows me for better productivity. That's why I press the R key, and as you can see that a rectangle forms on my screen. So I want you guys to remember hotkeys here. If you press the R key, then you will automatically create a rectangle. If you press the O key, you'll create a ellipse. It's like a circle. And there are other hotkeys too. If you want an arrow, all you do is press Shift and L for an arrow. If you want to create like a line, you can also create a polygon and a star. These haven't been mapped yet, but you can always map it in the settings. And if you press Command Shift K on Mac or Control Shift K on Windows, that allows you to place an image or a video on top of a rectangle. So if I do this, and it's going to prompt me to put an image on my thing. So let me just quickly put an image. You can't really see what I'm doing here, but I'm actually selecting an image in the background. I'm going to be putting this image right here, and I can just place it here on the rectangle, and it'll put the shape here. Is everybody following along so far? So yeah, I just want you guys to remember R is for rectangle, O is for ellipse, and Shift L is for lines, because we're going to be switching things around a lot today. So let's just create a rectangle. You can always create an uneven rectangle like this, but if you want it to be perfect on all four sides, you can always just adjust it and eyeball it like this. But that's not really efficient, is it? So what we do is we press the R key, and then we hold Shift, and then we drag it along. So you see how this is perfect? Like, you see this is a 393 times 393. It's a perfect square. If you want perfect squares, just press the Shift key. Same for circle, actually, because a lot of us, we struggle to really draw a circle. And if you want a perfect circle, all you do is just press O first for circle, and then press Shift, and see that it's always going to be a perfect circle. Same with an arrow. Just if you want to make a perfect shape, all you have to do is hold Shift. That's pretty simple and straightforward. Now, the other thing that I want to teach you guys is coloring and everything on your right-hand side. Now, this is where you can control the dimensions manually. Now, you can always type everything, but in Figma, if you just hover over, am I showing up is my mouse showing up? Okay, so if you hover over the letter X and just hold on it and just drag your cursor left or right, you can play around with the positioning much easier instead of just writing it down where it is or just dragging it like this. You can also do the same with the width and height. Just if you want to have a height in mind, you can type it, but if you don't and you want a perfect shape, just hold down the W key, and then just, you can adjust the width, and same goes for the height. And this is some tools that you can play around with if you guys want to. That's just how the layer is going to look, because think of this as Photoshop, but it's like free. think of it that way. And yeah, you can always change the color really of everything here using the fill tool. Now this brown looks ugly, so I'm just going to make it a bit pleasing. Let's say this shade of yellow. And yeah, you can always export stuff here, and you can always export images or whatever you want to here. You can always put an effect here if you guys want, like a shadow or a blur. And if you're drawing something with the drawing tool, you can always just use the pen tool and then decide on how the stroke's going to look and all that stuff. So we're not going to be using the pencil or pen tool that often. And yeah, now in prototype, this is where you can actually choose the model that you're going to be showing it in when your prototype is done. Now you can see this is a bunch of iPhone here because Figma has a lot of iPhone models here. You can also choose what color you want on this side. You can also choose the orientation you want to view it in. For simplicity, let's just keep it to an iPhone 14 and I guess red so you can really see here. You can also choose the background image if you don't want it to be black. And for inspect, you don't really need to worry about that. That's just for later. But yeah, other than that, we can actually get started on our prototype today, recreating Instagram. Does anybody have any questions for me in the chat before I start that part of our tutorial today? Any questions at all? Or are you guys good? You can raise your hands too if you want to unmute yourself and answer it or speak. Oh, why is the rectangle yellow? Oh, it's just to demonstrate that you can change the colors. I just picked really awful color. I apologize. But yeah, I guess I'll just begin with the presentation today, like our actual workshop. Will the recording be shared with us? Yes, it'll be shared with you guys. I don't know when. You might want to DM your organizers for that. But yeah. Now, all right. So firstly, when you want to create any mockup, let's say you want to create an app, we always need to look for inspiration. So what I like to do is I like to copy an image of the app that I want to take inspiration from. And all I do is I just copy and paste an image of it for reference. It's like when artists create art, they use a reference photo of like a person, for example, to just get a reference or the idea of what they're going to work with. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be copying a Instagram UI reference that's going to help me really just build the mockup today. So I just copied this image and pasted it online. All you need to do is just search up an image on Google, just right click and select copy image and come to Figma and just paste it. And yeah, this is going to be our inspiration. Now, if you double click on the image, you can play around with it, like sort of, and you can just change everything. And yeah, so we're going to be designing the UI for Instagram today. Now, what I like to do is I like to start by making a canvas size. So I usually create a rectangle like this for Instagram. And let me just make this bigger for you guys to see. And I like to use the dropper tool and make it the same color, just for inspiration. And yeah, I know this is not what Instagram looks right now. This is a bit outdated, but you guys get the idea. I think right now the Instagram logo sort of shifted this way and stuff, but we'll try to recreate it as much as we can. So after you've done that, you can see that there is an image in the middle. So what we do here is we select the rectangle, or just by pressing the R key, we hold shift and we just make a box for our placeholder image here. And same thing, we just search up any random stock image on Google, and all we do is just copy and paste that stock image. Now, I like food, so I am going to be just putting a stock image of a food or food pictures that I already have saved on my laptop. And all I'm going to do is just paste it here. That just took a while, but yeah, this is just to capture this is just going to be our post for today. Now, you can see that if I zoom in, we have the user, the profile name and their profile photo here. All we need to do is let's just press O on our keyboards and then press shift again and just create a small circle over here. And you can always Google stock human images, let's say, and I want to just upload an image of a person right now so that we can mimic Instagram. So I'm just going to copy and paste an image from online, and that'll be our subject here. And we can always use the text by selecting T on our keyboard and just write down somebody's name. Let's name this girl Julietta. It's white for now, so I'm just going to change the color to black, and there we have it. Now when you're playing with text, everything is on your right hand side right here. You can always change the font size. I'm just going to keep it as it is, and I want to put it a little bit bolder, and I want to make the text a bit. So I'll choose 20. Oh, I have to select it, and then I press 20. Oh, by the way, someone's microphone is unmuted. If you don't mind muting, that'll be great. Yeah, this is our person. This is the person's username. I'm not really creative with usernames, so I'm just gonna leave it as Julietta. If you really want to take it one step ahead, you can always just Google the verified icon and then just type PNG in the end to get a blank image of the verified icon, and I'll just add that there because why not? But I don't see one that looks like the Instagram verified image. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, we nailed this part down. You can always use the plus and minus icons on your laptop to zoom in and zoom out as you choose. And yeah, you can see that here on your left hand side that this is like all your objects that you're working on right now are here. You can always arrange them in order. But what I love to do is I like to hold Control or Command if you're on Mac. And then I like to make this as a group. So that way I can work on with this. Now, this image isn't really part of it, so I'm just going to remove it out of the group. And this group right here represents our mockup. Just to like clear all the confusion so that you know what's a part of your image and what isn't. And yeah, you can see that over here, there's just this line that's separating the post from the images. So we do Shift L for the arrow icon, and then all we do is just drag a line down. Now you can use your arrow keys to really adjust the position. And what I like to do is I like to play with transparency and make it a little less transparent. And yeah, this kind of looks similar to what we have on the right. Now we're also missing the 3 dots for, like, I don't know if you want to report this person. So all we do is, instead of making 3 circles with the ellipse tool, what I like to do is be lazy and then just make 3 dots using text. And there we go. And I can just move it accordingly. Now, one thing that's good about Figma is it'll align stuff perfectly with what you're working with. All you have to do is press hold. And yeah, there you have it. Doesn't look quite like Instagram, but you guys get the idea. Is everybody following along so far, or do you want me to go over anything again? I'm going to assume that everyone's following along. Now, all of these images, I'm just Googling them online and just pasting them and copying them. How do I align things? You can align things by just press holding something, and you can see that Figma automatically helps you align. How do I add the line above the name? All I did was use the arrow or the line tool and just drag the line across, just like this. It's that simple. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Now we can see that the arrow and our dots are outside of this group. So what I like to do is I'll just drag and put it inside of our group, and let's rename the group. Let's just name it host. This is something that you guys really should do when you're making mockups. Organize everything. It's like, it'll like save a lot of your time, and it'll look so much better in the end, like if everything's organized. Now, if you don't want to make any more changes and you're happy with how it looks, you just press the lock key, and this group is locked. So I can't move this. All I can do is move the background image and stuff. So nothing in this post is changed. This is a good practice, and I recommend you guys doing this. And assets are something, if you want to like create like components for websites and stuff, we won't go over it later. You can always Google that on your own. So going back to layers, let's just finish what we're doing. And we can see that we've built the post. What we need is stories, because what's Instagram without stories, am I right? So what we do is we basically create circles for the Instagram logos right here, like this thing, like this circle right here. You can see that it has a border that's like purple and orange. We're going to be creating that. Now, who remembers the hotkeys for creating a circle? It's quiz time. Let's see who remembers. There we go. That's the spirit. So what do I do if I want to create a perfect circle? Can you answer that? That's right. O plus shift. Good job, guys. You guys are really following along. So I press the O key and then I just hold and select this. Now, this is a new thing that I'm going to teach you guys. Instead of doing this copy and then paste, this is something that I really hate. I love to just keep my hands away from my trackpad and always keep it on the keyboard as much as possible. What I do is I hold the Option key for Mac or the Alt key in Windows. All I do is I just drag it across the screen and look, I have a clone. Isn't this much better than just copy and pasting? I think it is, in my opinion. And you can see that Figma allows you to align them too. And if I want to create more of these, so I just select them using the selection tool right here. Wait, it's just right here. If I just go this, oh, wait, what? Nope. Actually, if you want to undo, you can always do Control Z or Command Z. There you go. That's what I wanted to do. Just gonna undo a few of my changes. So yeah, just select Option and then just hold it. And you can see that they're all evenly spaced apart. So I like to keep it 24 spaces apart. If it's not, you can always just adjust it yourselves, but yeah. 24, 24. Now, it doesn't matter if it's outside of the screen in your mockup, it won't. Oh, yeah, I can repeat it. If you want to just copy and paste shapes and don't want to move your mouse, just hold the Option key and then you can make multiple copies by selecting it. That's what I said. Because I hate the practice of just doing copy this and then pasting this. That's just inefficient to me, in my opinion. Now, let's select all this. So if I just do this and select every single circle that I made, I want to create a group and I want to name this group. If you're going to name it, just double tap here and let's name it header, because I'd like to think that this is a header, just like a website has a header or like a document has a header or footer. And yeah, let's look for the Instagram stories circle. So all you have to do is just do Instagram story ring and then just type in PNG and you'll get the image in a PNG. It's probably the first search. And what I do is just copy the image on Google and just paste it. One easy way to do it is just click on the image and then do Command V and boom, we have the story circle right here. Now, I'm going to delete all this. And since I already created a story like this, all I have to do is just drag and drop and just duplicate this instead. Isn't that more efficient? I think it is. So I will do exactly that. And yeah. Now I'm going to be making this into a group. Again, I have to rename this. This is a really annoying feature Figma has. There. Now this is going to be our header for our stories. And it's all selected. So let me just move it a bit to the top because I see that I have no space for the text here. So what I need now is the username for people down here. So the first one is always blank, I assume, because this one right here in specific is your story. So what I'm going to do is just use a random default image here. Oh, just Google Instagram story ring and just like copy and paste it from Google. That's all you do. If you guys are having trouble, I can always send you the file. Oh, what the hell? I can't send files. Access to file restricted by your account admin. Huh. That is weird. I think it's because I'm using my Yorkie account to do it. But I can actually share my whole screen instead. Let me just share my entire screen so people have an idea of what I'm doing. Desktop one. There you go. So all I was doing behind the scenes, hiding from you guys, is just Googling Instagram story ring and just copy this, just like copy image. That's all I did. If I go back to Figma, I'll just paste it here and yeah, there you go. Let me just close out of all this because my computer's a bit slow. Let me just Google back to stock human photos. And let me choose this guy as my profile picture. And just do copy image, go back to Figma, replace the image. There. Now, if you go back to our mockup, you can see that there is a plus sign right here. But before that, you can see that there's this cutout that we need, that we're missing. So all we do is we go back, select O, and then hold shift, and then basically make a small circle and use our arrow keys to just adjust the circle. And now what I like to do is I like to use the dropper tool and just make that circle disappear. There. Now we go back to Google and Instagram, blue plus icon, and everything is just available online. Or let me just Google blue plus icon PNG. That's more better. And you know what? We can actually make our own blue plus icon. All I need to do is just duplicate this image by just dragging it across the screen and taking my dropper tool here and just highlighting it to this color right here and just actually I'm just going to hold shift and then make it a bit smaller. Yeah, you can always hold shift and adjust the size of your image and put it in the center. Let me just zoom in now by using the plus key and type L on my keyboard for a line and change the line. Oh, wait. I'm just gonna exit out of that. Oh, I'm gonna undo this. There we go. Now I'm gonna press the L key and just draw a white line across the screen. And I'm gonna press L again and Draw another line and boom. Okay, that looks so inaccurate. I'm just going to be fixing it. Well, okay. There we go. Apologies if it's not centered correctly. I hope none of you have OCD here. But yeah, we'll just keep it to that. And yeah, all we need to do is just fill up all these here, all these circles here with an image in the middle. Now we can always zoom in and select the O tool and press Shift O and just create something in the middle like so. Press the Option key and just duplicate it a bunch of times. I find this more convenient and more efficient. Yeah, and then just let me just go back to my stock human photos. And just copy and paste a bunch of people's faces. Now, I know people have other stuff as their profile picture, but for the mock-up purposes, we're just going to be using stock human photos. Yeah, that looks good as a profile picture, actually. Put them here. Let's put this girl back here too. Let me put this here. This is looking more like a LinkedIn profile than an Instagram profile photo. I'm just going to be filling these photos up. You guys can do the same too if you want, or just keep it as is. Okay, having a hand is pretty weird for a profile picture, but I'll still use it because why not? And yeah, all we're missing is the text underneath. So I'll just write your story real quick and make this black. I'm going to be changing the font size to 13 here. And you can always drag the position of your image like this. Oh, this should be capital. And font size should be a little lighter. I can always do light. That looks ugly. Let me do regular. Yeah, that's perfect. And put it here. There, that looks good. That looks great, actually. You can always zoom back out and see what you have so far. And it is looking good. Is everybody with me so far? Or is everybody following along? Or do you guys have any questions on what I did? Or do you want me to go over anything again before I continue? If not, then I'm just going to take a 2-minute water break because I am thirsty, and I'll be back in 5:15. All right, that took longer than expected, but I'm back. We will be resuming our workshop. So here, what I did here was just still creating the header. To speed things up, all I'm going to do is just copy this and use my Alt key or Option key if you're on Mac, and just really copy all this. It just says your story now, but I don't want it to say that, so I'm just going to type in random gibberish. I'm just going to be typing a lot of gibberish here for people's username. That does not look centered at all. I'll worry about that later, actually. There. We have the story panel, which is good. All we're missing is the Instagram logo on the top. Again, if I Google this, oh, we have a thing. Do you know how to generate the lorem ipsum thing? Yes, I do. All I do is just Google lorem ipsum and then just use this. This is just for text here. You can copy here. There. It's just placeholder text if anyone's wondering what that is. But what I'm going to be doing now is Googling Instagram logo PNG. Actually, I'll just type in Instagram text PNG. Yep, there it is. I think it's this one. The one way to tell if it's a PNG or not, if the background has a checkers. I think this should be good if I copy this here, and if I paste it. Oh no, that is not good at all. Why don't I just have a selection here in this frame right here and put this image there? Let me just visit this actually and download. You can download an SVG file if you want to, but really it doesn't matter. I'm just going to drag and drop, place it there. It says fill here. All I do is select fit. Okay, what is going on? Oh, okay, that's going on. I'll just undo what I did here. Let me just drag and drop this Instagram. There. I'm just going to put this here. Okay, that looks too big. Okay. That does look a bit unrealistic. So I'm going to be adjusting it there. Okay, that looks better. But there's still something that doesn't seem right to me. And that is that everything here, it's just too further up. What I can do is let me just put all these in here in the group. Instagram text logo also belongs here. Let me just select all these layers here. And then just place it to header. there, I can just select them all at once if you just select this layer and drag them down below, but I gotta take care of this layer first. Now it's locked. Let me unlock the content and just drag it below. I'll do the same here, just creating some space for the top. And so far so good, right? Now let's view our prototype here. We can always just press this thing here. Oh. Oh, right. You can do that. I forgot. Okay. Workshop will sometimes forget. So if you want to create a frame, you always need a frame. Luckily, we have all our content made here. So all we can do is just select all this content here and I can just shift it over here. Yeah, there we go. All I can do is then just drag, drop, and resize it accordingly. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys. I made a mistake. Yeah. You do need a frame. So you press the F key and then you select what type of device you want to display it on. So here we just put an iPhone 14 at random. And since you already have the layers created, we're safe. We're good. Not a big mistake. All we did was basically put the header in that frame. I could just do this and there. Now my post is right here. I can just remove this. And bring all the contents here and resize it. Okay, that looks a bit weird. Just gonna hold shift and then do it. There. And yeah, okay. There. It looks very ugly. I apologize again. This was my mistake. Human beings are prone to make mistakes after all. And right here. You know, also do the same thing here by holding shift and then adjusting everything. It's off-centered. It does not matter that much. But yeah, let's view this prototype. So all you do is just press this play icon and it'll take a while. And once it's loaded, it should show how it would look like on a mock-up. There it is. It takes a while to load. You can always interact with it. My cursor right here shows that you're interacting with it. And yeah, this is basically if I had another canvas, but we don't, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, one thing that's good about Figma is this. Let me just adjust this correctly. Still not adjusted properly. One thing I was saying that's good about Figma is you can always change the canvas size here. So the height of this, I can always drag it along and make it longer. And I want to exit out of that. If I go back to my prototype model now, you can see that my canvas size has changed now, so I can actually scroll further. So there. If you want to create a scrolling animation, all you do is just increase the canvas size below, and you're basically done. You can also do the same thing if you want to make it a wider canvas. But yeah, this is basically it. Do you guys have any questions on what I did right now about how to view your prototype and everything? No questions at all in the chat, or anyone wants to raise their hand and ask a question? Okay, I got one question. How did you make the font the exact same as the IG page? Oh, which font are you talking about? The Instagram logo or just the text in general? And Nora, I will go, I will oh, the text. Oh, I didn't. It's not really the same. I just used a random font from Figma when I selected the text. It's literally the default font right here. You can always play around with it on the middle right-hand corner. And yeah, so if you want it to be displayed in a prototype, you have to select a frame, and you can select what phone model you want. If it's a tablet, you can select an iPad or iPhone. If it's a desktop, you can select a MacBook. And if it's for a watch, you can create it for a watch. If it's for paper, if it's for social media posts like Facebook posts, Twitter posts, Instagram post, or a story, you can always create a canvas. For that, all you do is press the F key and then your prototype. And then once you're done with the prototype, let me show you another example actually. So I'll just, let's say, do an iPhone 14 again. There you go. In here, I want just a random circle. This is nothing to do. This is just to show that how the prototype works. And if I just go to show prototype settings, you can play around with the prototype model you want to. And if you press play, you can display your prototype. And it's just reloading everything. This takes a while. It's because I'm sharing things. But if you don't want it to take a while, all you do is just close it and open it again. And you will be able to view your prototype on an iPhone. There you go. You can scroll down. If you click away from the screen, you can see that there, this is the circle that I just created. I don't really know what this is. Yeah, I don't really know what the second stuff is. And yeah, this is the third one, the circle that I just created. No worries. This is basically it. Now, it is 5:30. I promised the workshop to be an hour long. I can continue creating this mockup if you guys want to, or I can just end the workshop here. That's totally up to you guys. If you want to see me make more awful mockups, you can see it here live. But if you think this is enough for today, then I guess we can end things here. And yeah, I do want to see what you guys have worked on, like this workshop. Like I really want to see what you guys built. It doesn't have to be Instagram, but if you guys do not mind sharing me your mockups, then you can post them in the Discord channels. I don't see a channel where you can post it. Huh. Okay, let's just post it under gaming. So if you guys are on the Discord under gaming, why don't y'all post me your mockups there for now? Let's review some mockups here and see how well you guys build. That's totally optional, by the way. If you want to share your mockups with people. If not, then yeah, I can stay for 5 minutes and answer questions if you guys had any, or go over things again. But oh, someone actually made wait, let me just open my Discord actually. and show you guys what people have made. Oh, so far only one submission. And I gotta say, it actually looks better than mine. Honestly, I don't know why mine's so crappy looking. And I don't know why Discord is taking so long to load. What's out of that? Discord is taking a while to open on my laptop. I don't know why, but I'm really liking these mock-ups so far y'all built. I'm amazed. You guys are actually gonna kill it this hackathon. But also, if you guys don't have anything else, then thank you for joining. This is just us taking a break here and stuff. Let me just stop recording. Thanks for joining, whoever joined. I don't know how to stop it.